Good afternoon. My name is Todd Wolfson, and I'm a faculty member in the Department of Journalism and Media Studies. I'm a cultural anthropologist by training, and I'm president of Rutgers AAUP-AFT. I wanted to take a few minutes today to talk about the vision and work of our union and explain why it's important now more than ever for you to be a leader of the union. Since the pandemic hit, we've been hard at work protecting our contract, protecting our members, and protecting the Rutgers University. In March, we fought to make sure librarians and all library staff were able to stay home and stay safe during the pandemic's first strike. A few months later, this summer, we fought to protect our international graduate students so they could continue to work while living overseas. Throughout the year, we have fought to protect our contract and the pay equity process the university agreed to. In recent months, we had to make a very difficult decision to sue the university as we contend that they are in serious breach of the New Jersey Equal Pay Act. We're working with 5 amazing plaintiffs, all women, 2 women of color, and we are going to demand that Rutgers support equal pay for equal work. We also sued the university a few months earlier to demand transparency around $100 million in internal subsidies the university has given the athletics program in the last year. Now, keep in mind, since the pandemic hit, the university is claiming a $97 million shortfall, and that's leading them to do untold layoffs, etc. But their internal loan to the athletics program is over $100 million. Most importantly, in the past year, we fought to stop those layoffs across campus, from staff to PTLs. We fought to get grad workers a critical 1-year extension, and we've demanded the university take a people-centered approach to the pandemic. But these are hard things to win, so if we want to win them, we're going to need all of you to join us. But before I get into more details, I think it's important to discuss the moment we're in. These times are hard and they're anxiety-provoking on all of us as individuals and as a society. Believe me, I know. I have 3 kids at home under 9 years old, and 2 are in virtual school right now as I make this video. Before the pandemic, there wasn't enough time in this house. We didn't have enough hands, and that has been multiplied since the pandemic when we're all asked to do so much more with less. And this anxiety stretches beyond our difficult personal lives. We're living in a moment of many crises at once. We're in the midst of a pandemic, the likes of which we've never seen. We're in a moment of devastating ecological collapse. And we're in a moment of great inequality. Since the pandemic hit, Jeff Bezos and the economic elite have seen their wealth grow dramatically. In fact, Bezos' wealth grew over $100 billion in the last year. But at the same time, we've seen millions of people lose their jobs, lose their health care, and lose their livelihoods. And this has disproportionately hit women and people of color. Currently, 41% of the African American community are food insecure. 41%. And in some ways, most disturbingly, we've seen a dramatic growth of white supremacy and police violence throughout this country. So these are extraordinarily hard times, and I think it's important for us to recognize that. But at the same time, and in response to these urgent problems, we're witnessing a new, massive wave of resistance across the globe and here at home. A movement that has challenged autocracy, challenged white supremacy, and challenged the failing logic of capitalism. And I want to say that this movement for justice that we're witnessing is where our union, Rutgers AAUP-AFT, is rooted. We're rooted in this movement. And to that end, I want to argue to all of you, to all of our amazing members and leaders of this union, that there is no more important place to be right now and no more important work to do right now than the work within Rutgers AAUP-AFT. Being a part of this union means being a part of the fight back at every level and on all of these issues. First and foremost, the fight of Rutgers AAUP is the fight for the future of Rutgers and more broadly the future of public education. We have a different vision of the public university than Rutgers administrators. Their vision is one that prioritizes growing endowments, managerial bloat, multiplying deans and vice presidents, increasing tuition costs on working class students, increasing precariousness for the workers across the university, and the magical thinking that athletics, which is losing money, is going to be the answer to our financial woes. We fundamentally disagree with them. Our vision is for a people-centered university that prioritizes the core mission of a public higher education institution: teaching, research, and service to our communities. We're fighting for a vision that centers all 100,000 of us, the 70,000 students, and the 30,000 workers, along with all the lives we touch. In this fight, we are demanding a voice and genuine governance over this university. We have to demand this because we know the managers of Rutgers, the chief financial officers, the lawyers, the human resource bureaucrats, and they simply cannot lead this university in the interest of all of us and in the interest of the great state of New Jersey. So what does this fight look like from the day to day? And how do we win our vision for a public university? Answering those questions is the work we have to do together. The critical centerpiece of it, though, is strengthening our union. That means strengthening our department rep infrastructure and further developing all of us as leaders and as organizers. And there's a reason for this. When you go to the negotiating table with these folks, they are not swayed by good moral arguments or ethical arguments. You can talk about women being paid less than men. You can talk about how immoral it is to lay off people in the midst of pandemic and strip them of their health care. You can talk about any number of things and make strong arguments. They simply don't care. All they care about is whether they have the power to enact the things they want to enact unilaterally. So our fight is about building our power. Power is in our numbers. It's in our collective voice, and power is ultimately in our collective vision. And organizing is the key to our power, and it is the key to everything this union does. That's why 100 of our members and folks across the coalition of Rutgers unions participated in an international strike school. That's why we're initiating a freedom school in the next month, which will focus on developing all of us as leaders of this union. And what are we organizing for? We're organizing, as I said, to protect the amazing contract we fought for and won. And we are going to challenge the university's false claim of a fiscal emergency. We're also going to fight to make sure that this university is reopened safely for all workers and all students. But most importantly, for our vision to be truly sound, we have to prioritize our members, faculty, and grad workers, but we also have to prioritize all workers on campus through committing to the hard work of building the coalition of Rutgers unions. That's 19 plus unions representing 20,000 workers across the state. Our people-centered response to the pandemic looks after the most vulnerable, which includes our grad workers, our adjunct colleagues, and our staff colleagues. And our demands are very simple. Look, no layoffs during the pandemic. Don't strip people of health care. Extend the funding for our grad workers by 1 year, because otherwise they will face invisible layoffs. And the university must center the most vulnerable. Alongside this work, we're also joining together with students and with community in a host of fights, because we know that we are stronger as a united front that includes faculty, grads, staff, students, and community. The work we do together matters, and these are the fronts of struggle that we are involved with. So, if you agree with this vision and you haven't yet joined our union, please take a few seconds to do so at RutgersAAUP.org/join. RutgersAAUP.org/join, JOIN. Our power comes from our membership. But more than just joining, in the days and weeks to come, you're going to be called upon by your department rep colleagues to take different kinds of action, which may take place over the coming weeks and coming months to protect our jobs and those of our coworkers. We're also going to fight to protect the conditions of students and the community. Please respond to the survey we send out. Please respond to the petitions. Please come out around action initiatives that we collectively shape, because we collectively are the union. You are the union, and solidarity is our greatest strength. Thank you.